Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. I am just finishing up my first week of year 3, and it also happens to be the first Bazaar day of our new year. I have a lot to talk about, and I've loaded up my bag as if I was going to go to the bazaar, but you can see that I've also left quite a bit of space as well. And I have a lot of shopping that I would like to do. So my plan is to kind of do a half day at the bazaar. I need to still sell things so that I can maintain some inventory space, but I'm not too worried about trying to reach the goal because the goal is so far out of what is going to be feasible for us to do every single week. And to kill some time, I'm going to do my chores and I can show you all my planting configuration because I've started up again with crops. My basement is still set to summer. Nothing new going on there. I had an enormous amount of seeds saved up that were taking up lots and lots of inventory space, but you can see that after I had planted everything, I was only left with 6 asparagus seeds remaining, which I feel is pretty good planning on my part. And I had a ton of asparagus seeds. So many, in fact, that I was able to do my bottom field entirely made up of asparagus seeds. And once I turn those all into asparagus soup, those are going to sell for a lot of money. And I had leftover asparagus, so I've got one row here. You can see that my turnips have already come in, which is fantastic. I've got potatoes on the go, which I'm waiting for to do some cooking, which I'm excited about, and I also have some cucumbers going. So still managing to grow a little bit of everything in this season using high quality seeds. My turnips are at 4.5 stars, so I should have full 5-star quality turnips, asparagus, and potatoes. My cucumbers, sadly, have a long way to go. Part of that is because they are a replenishing crop, but that's okay. I'll do what I can. I already have some of my tea leaves coming in, which is fantastic, and my second tea tree has also started to come in. I was going to fertilize that, but I realized that I didn't have any fertilizer on me. So I'm just gonna go to the bazaar with what I have and try and sell a few of these things. Some of them are singular items that I would like to get rid of. Some of it's cooking, but I am going to hold on to everything for the most part. I'm also still hoarding a lot of flowers here now that spring has rolled around again for the upcoming flower festival. I still have lots of gems. I still have a lot of work to do in terms of managing my inventory. There's definitely still some things that I can do. But if I'm able to get rid of a few items, then that will be really helpful. I do still buy fertilizer because I need them for all of my trees. I have to put fertilizer on these every single day. But I'm gonna reach a point where hopefully I won't have to fertilize the rest of what I have out here once it reaches 5 stars. So I've gone ahead and left myself a little bit of inventory space so that I can pick up some flowers along the way. And I do plan on spending quite a bit of money at the bazaar today, so I will also need some inventory space for that. But this feels nice and casual. It's sort of nice to be going to the bazaar with the attitude of being a shopper rather than all of that pressure put on us to grow the bazaar since we've already done that. Was able to pick up all my flowers along the way. It's 11:30, so most of the stalls should be open. I'll go ahead and get the actual selling of our items out of the way first. So I've brought along the tofu dishes that we made. We'll get rid of all of those. I have a singular tea can, which isn't worth very much, so we'll put those out as well. Some steamed cake that I made. I bought this as a recipe from Joan to learn it because I didn't have it. And I've started to buy the recipes that I buy in bulk so that I can sell them and make a little bit of extra money. And then just for the heck of it, because I have so many of them, and to fill out my counter a little bit here, we will put out our seeds. And it doesn't matter that we're here late because we aren't even going to spend all day here. My goal is just to get rid of all the items that I've put out, and if I can sell a few seeds and maybe condense it down by a bag, then that would be great. The extra bonus would be if we just so happened to get really, really chatty customers and we were able to talk to enough people that we could go to the bazaar results and get a prize for customer service. But I'm really not concerned about that. I have no intentions of going to see the bazaar results. I'm not expecting a prize. We are going very casual about the bazaar in year 3. I think down the line I will still have a few bazaar days where I've stockpiled some really good items and we'll go in and we'll make a bunch of money because it always feels nice to kind of break your last record, I think. But we're not going to go too crazy. And hopefully what I've sold will help me out. If I need to make more room, then I have to make more room. The seeds might be slowing me down a little bit here because it is taking me a little while here to clear all of my items out. There doesn't seem to be as much interest because most of what I have on display is seeds. But if I could have someone just buy the last of those cakes, thank you very much, then I can get the heck out of here. If I wanted to stick around and maybe sell a few more things, I could potentially get rid of this bag of seeds because there's only 20 left. But we've got a ton of space now in our bag. So that's still $63,000, and if we go and spend a bunch of money, then we might be adding to our wallet rather than subtracting a whole bunch. I have a feeling I'm gonna spend more than that today. I'm not really worried about money anyways, but I suppose every little bit kind of helps. So I'm gonna start at the bottom row here, and Claire has got lots of new goodies for us to purchase. I don't recall if we had her stall unlocked at this time last year or not, but it's a new season, so she's gonna have some new recipes, and some of the stalls will also have new recipes because we're also in our 3rd year now. So I'm going to buy the matcha tea and the seaweed curry. And like I said, I am starting to buy these items in bulk. I've just been buying 10. I could go crazy because I have $3.1 million. I could buy 99 if I wanted, just because I can, and I would be able to, at some point, bring these back to the bazaar and sell them. And that's why I decided to do it this way, because I was just buying one of each type of food when I was adding it to my recipe book. But it felt like a waste for these items to take up an inventory slot if there was only one of them. So thank you very much, Claire. I think I'm going to go in a counterclockwise motion from her store. Raul has absolutely nothing for me. No new seeds, nothing that I need from him. I really wish that Lloyd would sell me some gold. And I tried to get different results from the different stalls. But the one stall that I want to shop at has excellent inventory today, so I'm going to just go along with what Lloyd is selling. I'm going to buy some silver to continue making some jewelry. But I'm going to spend a lot of money on gold the next time that he has some for sale. Nothing new at either carpenter's shop, but Nellie has a few recipes that we don't have as well. She's got champagne in a glass, as well as some marinated fish. And these dishes are pretty pricey, $1,000 or more per dish. And I am certainly going to lose some money when I go to resell these, but not as much as you might think for some of these. And buying all of this food was what I needed inventory space for. So next, we've got Joan's stall. She also has some goodies, and everything she has here we don't have in our recipe book. Sandwiches are fairly easy to make, so I'm gonna skip this and make better quality sandwiches at home myself. But all of the different teas and all of the different alcohols, I'm definitely not going to pass up, just because there's so many different kinds of teas, and it's quite the process because I have to have the appropriate tea leaves. So I have to wait for the appropriate season, and I then have to make tea leaves in the windmill, turn around, and then cook them in the kitchen. So if I can unlock some of these now, I'm just gonna do that the easy way. And fortunately, we did sell enough because we didn't fill up our bag completely. In fact, we still have a couple of spaces left, which is fantastic. So I was able to sell just enough to kind of clear out the inventory space. Felix at some point will probably have some new inventory, but he doesn't have anything for me right now. And then finally, the big stop that we're making today, and where I was planning on spending some big bucks, is at Enrique, which may surprise you. However, we have now hit year 3, which means that we are going to get access to a new version of every animal in our barn. We get a new type of chicken, a new type of cow, and a new type of sheep. It kind of infuriates me that they make you wait until year 3. I wish that we were able to do this last year. And I'm going to go nuts, and I'm gonna fill up the barn a little bit more here. All of these animals will give you different product. All these new versions of animals. So we have that to look forward to. They are more expensive to purchase than your base animals, but their product is also going to sell for more. I think variety is the spice of life, and some of the products that they give us will also allow us to do some additional cooking as well. So I'm going to take both of the baby silky chickens that I just purchased. And it's interesting to me that we have both the adult version of the silky chicken and our new type of cow, because you normally have to own the baby versions of the animals before you can get the adults. Now the cow is quite pricey. If I'm able to hover over it and show you, that would be great, thank you. $10,000 for this new type of cow to buy as a baby. This is a Jersey cow. And they've got these cute brown spots so that we're able to tell them apart. I could go for the adult version. I could be impatient and pay the extra $8K for the adult version like I had done with my other cows. But we'll just buy the baby version for now and let it grow up so that we can get some better product. And then finally, kicking around here somewhere, I saw the baby version of our new type of sheep. So for $16,000, we can buy ourselves a baby Suffolk sheep. And that will be the last of our barn animal purchases. I think bringing 4 new animals to the farm is a really nice change, just something different. The barn is going to be a little bit chaotic now at this point. And when I was looking at all the different varieties of pets, I noticed that there was a new color of cat, and I hadn't noticed this last year. Maybe I wasn't looking, maybe this has been here the whole time, but I figured, why not? We just bought 2 new chickens. The cats might need some help herding all of those animals. And if I manage to spot a different colored dog, then I will buy a 3rd dog as well. We barely made a dent in our wallet, and I've managed to do all of the shopping I wanted to do today. And we are done at the bazaar at 2:40 in the afternoon. What a welcome surprise that is, instead of having to stay here all day. I will be keeping an eye on Diego's stall because he does have some items that are going to be new in year 3, but he doesn't have anything all that exciting for me to buy at the moment. I can use chili peppers and soy flour in cooking, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. And before I forget, I guess because he's just chilling in the middle, I almost completely forgot to stop in at Chen's. His seeds will also be the same. There's no changes to be aware of here. But he will sell some new food items because it's now into the spring season. So I am going to be keeping my eye out for what he's going to offer me that I'm able to cook with. I'm going to keep my oil supply up, which is why I purchased a little bit of oil. And then going back to my bazaar stand for one moment, I don't know that I have ever brought this up until this point, which is a little embarrassing considering how long we've been playing for, but we don't normally get a chance to shop at the bazaar until we're all finished selling things. If you purchase something at the bazaar, you are not allowed to sell it at your store on the same bazaar day. I can understand why they don't let you do that, because that would be a really easy way for you to inflate your sales numbers. However, buying these items in bulk was not a waste of my money, because I am able to sell these at another bazaar. So all I have to do is take these home with me, and I can come back next week and resell them. And that's that. I will not be going to or attending every single bazaar. If there's nothing for me to write home about, nothing new or unique or exciting, I'll not really bring it up. I'll just skip right past it. Year 3, I'm hoping to make it a little bit more condensed, and I want to stick to the unique things. It was definitely worth going today because we got to see all of the new types of animals that we're going to be seeing, that we have access to now that we're in year 3. And it's always exciting to get new things unlocked, especially because there wasn't a lot of that in year 2, I feel. Aside from unlocking some of the stalls at the bazaar, there wasn't really a lot of crazy new changes for us to get really excited about in year 2. And the only reason that I'm going into our new day is because Enrique is going to bring us all of our new animals, and we can go and meet them. Because I certainly don't need to go to our bazaar results at this point. There's no point. But with all of our animals, it's starting to look a little bit chaotic in here, and I will most definitely have to keep a very close eye on the food supply, because it's not like you get the option to buy a bigger food tray for your pets once you start to get more pets. They're just going to eat through your food at a much faster rate. So I'm gonna have to keep all of the pets fed. You can see that I put food in last night before I went to bed, and they've almost gone through all of it. So this is probably going to be a once a day feeding type of a situation. But when money isn't really an object or much of a concern, it's not a big deal. And I can buy pet food from Raoul's here in town. So for the first time in our life, we are going to say that we are not interested in the bazaar results, and we're just going to skip it. And then coming into the barn, we can now see all of the different animals that we have in here. And it is getting a little bit crowded. The same is going to be true of the barn. I'm going to have to be very careful in making sure that the animals have enough fodder. And I usually buy fodder in bulk when I go to Raoul's anyways, because it's also used to make grass seeds. The dogs do an excellent job of herding all of the barn animals outside, so some of them will be eating outside. The cats also do a fantastic job of taking care of all of the chickens. And despite the fact that I now have 2 more chickens, the right side of the coop's feeding section is not yet open. All of the chickens are still going to be eating out of this one food bin that they have here. And if we go and look at our assets menu now, we have 10 of 20 total possible barn animals. So think about how many animals I have now and double it, and think about how difficult that would be to walk through every single day trying to find all the animals, to milk them and cut their hair. Sounds like a bit of a nightmare, but I might end up maxing it out anyways just for fun. And similarly, you can have up to 20 chickens, and we also have space for 5 more pets. And I was thinking about this earlier. I find it very interesting that this is one of the only Harvest Moon games that I could think of off the top of my head anyways, that does not ever give you any kind of house upgrade whatsoever. We don't even have separate bedrooms in this house. We all just live in what feels like a small little apartment, really, because everything is in one room. So Freya, myself, our future child, and all 10 pets, if we end up maxing out our pets, are all going to live in this shared space, which is kind of nuts. So we will see how things develop as we go on. If I purchase more animals or more pets from the bazaar, I will, of course, let you all know. The only thing of note this week is the Flower Festival, which I will participate in off-screen. I'm not going to show that off because it's the same every single year, and this year I'm going to skip any festival that is a repeat. If there's nothing new to show, then I feel as if everybody kind of gets the gist. And that's going to be most festivals in spring. The Flower Festival, the Harmony Day Festival, and the Tea Party are all very similar, and there's not a lot of changes here. So I have a feeling that spring is really going to fly by for me, and there's going to be minimal updates. But I did give you a look into how the farm is going, how I've done up my crops, and otherwise, I am just kind of sticking to a very similar routine to what I've had in previous years. So I'm going to keep playing from here, and I will let everybody know the second that I have anything fun or exciting to talk about. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.